It's a story everybody's been talking about in the last 24-hour news cycle. Pirates boarding the U.S. ship and the American crew taking it back, but the captain is still being held hostage at this hour. How do you negotiate with pirates? We're going to talk to a ship owner who did just that, coming up in just a moment.
Hostage standoff on the high seas, now 24 hours old at least. It keeps going. U.S. Navy and FBI involved as well. Pirates are holding Captain Richard Phillips in the first attack on a U.S. vessel in about 200 years. Back with us today, we loved him so much yesterday, James Christodoulou. He's CEO of Industrial Shipping Enterprises, someone who has personally negotiated with pirates. Great to have you back.
Welcome back.
What is happening right now? You've been on the phone with these guys for 56 days when it happened to you.
Sure.
Explain.
Well, I wasn't maybe on with these exact guys, but on with pirates.
Somali pirates.
Sure. And what they're trying to do now is they're trying to negotiate on a bunch of different levels. Terms, what do the pirates want and what are the negotiators, the company, the FBI, or the military willing to provide? And also they're trying to develop a framework of trust because, as you saw yesterday, a fast agreement doesn't always lead to a quick resolution. Right. And by handing over the one captive pirate that the crew had, they, quickly and not establishing a trust, they may have weakened their negotiating position.
If these pirates instead called themselves members of Al-Qaeda, we would have almost worldwide agreement that says never negotiate with terrorists. And yet it seems like companies, by being willing to negotiate for days and days and days with pirates, we encourage more piracy. How am I wrong on that?
Well, you're wrong because a similar analogy would be if all of a sudden we call, the Gambino family Al-Qaeda and we're not going to deal with them. We're going to look at them very differently. The fact is that these guys right now are engaged in a criminal activity. Part of their criminal activity is, of course, terrorizing the crew, but they're not terrorists in the way that we all consider terrorists. There's no political agenda. This is their business.
But to Dennis's point, every time they get paid, they get incentivized.
Sure.
I mean, they do it because they know they're going to get the money. They've never not gotten the money.
No dispute about that. But it's really not up to, I think, the ship owners to draw the line. What we are asking for, and what I've been asking for months, and unfortunately, this incident brought it home to America and can serve as a lightning rod for America to start to move and galvanize the world around them, is what we need really is a trained military, multinational effort to provide security worldwide.
But you're asking the U.S., you're asking militaries worldwide to assist your industry in something that you've helped bring about. I understand that getting from here to there is tough, that you can't say, well, am I going to be the first one who doesn't pay these guys? But understand that every time you pay them, you actually make it even more dangerous because more pirates come aboard and you make it worse every time.
I agree. And if my industry were not really begging for months and months, guys, to get the proper forces there, to provide...
Why don't you provide the proper forces?
Because we're not trained to do that. That's like saying...
You can hire Blackwater.
Look, that's like saying that every FedEx truck going through the Lincoln or Holland or Tunnel or the George Washington Bridge that are getting picked off randomly should start to arm FedEx drivers and provide security. First of all, there's not enough security guards to provide security.
We only have
for all
about
the ships.
20 seconds left. Is the U.S. response the appropriate one? They're sending a second warship now. Is this the appropriate response?
And what leverage do we have? I mean, they've got Captain Phillips.
They got a destroyer there.
Captain Phillips. What do we have to offer them? Do they just walk?
Well, that's really up to the people. I don't know if money's going to be the solution to this crisis. It may just be amnesty. I think the battleship or the destroyer that's going there is trying to kill a fly with a bazooka. You really don't need that. But what we really do need is a presence there to provide the security for the 2,000 ships a month that transit that area.
All right, Jim Christodoulou, which we had more time, but thank you again for joining us.
I would pay the ransom to get you out, Michelle, no matter what you say.
And if you had put me on that ship and caveated and said, I'm going to pay you a heck of a lot more, but understand the danger that you take, I would expect you not to.
All of my crew, all of my
The conversation continues there. We'll be back with more Power Lunch in just a moment.